Hattiesburg. Thanks for joining us for this COVID-19 briefing and other city news for Monday, June 29th. Hope you all had a great weekend. Today we will go over testing numbers. We'll talk about Governor Reeves' safe return extension. We'll talk about the city's next executive order, some city news, and of course our regular act of courage. Today's numbers, these are system-wide numbers for all four of our healthcare organizations: Forrest General, Merit Health Wesley, Samurai, and Hattiesburg Clinic. As of this morning, 22,417 tests have been conducted. 2,050 of those have come back positive. 19,660 have come back negative. We have 708 tests pending right now. Hospitalizations between our two hospitals right now, 37 people are positive for COVID. That's just over 2 under our average over the past 14 days. Of those 37, 16 are in the ICU. That's right in line with where we've been the last 2 weeks. Our numbers, you can see over time, we've had the big peak in hospitalizations about the middle of this month, but the numbers continue to fall. We stay under 40 right now. Hospitalizations, ICUs are staying between 10 and 20. Over the weekend, this is for Sunday and Monday because the Department of Health did not update numbers yesterday, but between Sunday and Monday, 11 cases were added to Forrest County to go to 786. 11 cases were also added to Lamar County to go to 393, which brings the metro area total to 1179. Our 5-day average, this is where we take the number of new positive cases on a given day. We average it with the 2 days prior and the 2 days after, and that gives you a better idea of where trends are headed. And so the good news right now is that both Forrest and Lamar counties are below the 10 new positive cases per day. You saw today that well over 600 new cases statewide. I know the coast and Harrison County had over 40 new cases just today. We continue to hopefully keep our numbers low, and that just reminds us to, again, stay the course. We also give the number for the number of new positive tests inside the past 14 days. Because COVID is usually the life cycle is 14 days or fewer, the number of people who have tested positive in the last 2 weeks typically is an estimate, but a relatively reliable estimate on the number of active cases you may have in your community. And so Forrest County right now, 105 inside the past 14 days. Lamar County also 105. That's the first time they've been the same since we've been keeping track with this. And over time, you can see we had the big peak at over 250 for the metro area back in the middle of May. The numbers continue to fall. It's over 200 right now, but Forrest County's numbers come down again to 105. Lamar County's usually we like to see that at 50 or fewer. That's up to 105 now. Really encourage all of our communities, not only in Hattiesburg but also whether you're Petal or Purvis or Lumberton or Sumrall, just to try and again do the right thing and stay the course. Because our goals ultimately are protecting people who are vulnerable, people that are elderly, people with underlying or chronic health conditions. We also want to prevent overrun of the healthcare system by slowing the spread so that we can prioritize public health even while the private sector continues to reopen. The 4 factors that drive this: widespread availability of testing. One point that Dr. Dobbs made yesterday on Twitter, I think it's a good one, is that we're seeing more positive cases not because we're testing more, but because we're spreading them more. And so the number of the testing supply, the number of tests taken, has typically stayed, rather constant over the last few weeks, but we're seeing more positive cases because community spread is happening. People are getting out. They're not wearing masks. And so we push the idea of wearing masks. And I know I've talked to several mayors in the past week who were either enacting these mask orders or they're weighing them in their cities. And so we need to stay ahead of the game and continue wearing our own mask. And while we also will watch our own data and listen to all voices. Today, the governor's safe return extension, those are 4 executive orders, 1499, 1500, 1501, and 1502. They extend safe return an extra week. I know the governor's busy trying to monitor what's going on with the legislative session about to end, so he extended that 1 week. The only 2 changes are that pools can now be open 24 hours, and volunteers and workers at concession stands must wear a mask, and people around concession stands need to adhere to social distancing guidelines. The city of Hattiesburg, in trying to stay kind of in lockstep with what the governor's timelines are, we extended our mask order for another week, waiting to see kind of what he's going to do. But I think our folks need to prepare that masks are going to be part of our future for the foreseeable future. And that includes employees, whether you're essential or non-essential employee. If you're around other people or if you're in the same room as the public, you have to wear a mask. It also means that if you're a customer going to a retail spot or going to a barbershop or salon or going to a spa, you have to have a mask on. So all of the capacity and mask orders until now extended another week to next Monday. And that's the message right now. We're seeing a lot of new positive cases around the state. We're seeing Rankin County jumped ahead of Forrest County over the weekend in terms of positive cases. We're seeing Wayne County continue to climb, and Jones County. We have to stay the course because ultimately a lot of those people around us will come and use our healthcare system if they overrun their facilities. And so message to you, not because I say do it, but it's the right thing to do. Put your mask on when you go out. Take care of yourself, take care of those around you. Some city news. Of course, all of our census plans that we had for this year were a bit undone by having this pandemic come during the census year. And so many of you have already filled out your census form. We're over 51% self-report already. If you have not filled out your census form, it takes 5 minutes. And it means a lot of money when it comes to funding for transportation and public health and things like that. So if you'll just go to hattiesburgcounts.com, you can click the first link, and that will take you to the census form. It literally takes 5 minutes. And finally, our act of courage for the weekend goes to our state legislature, the House and Senate, who voted by really strong majorities to decommission the current state flag and appoint a commission that will ultimately present and produce a new state flag design. 5 years ago, I was in the state house, and I remember at the time only 6 of us in the majority party in the House would come out in favor of changing the state flag. And so to see Speaker Gunn continue this, despite the political cost to him, to see Lieutenant Governor Hoseman come on board, and to see that because it was introduced so late in the session, there had to be a 2/3 vote to suspend the rules to allow for the late introduction of a bill. To see that pass the House and the Senate should make us all very proud. And to our Hattiesburg House delegation who unanimously voted to change it, and to Senators Polk and Barnett in the Senate for voting on both times to change it as well. To all the people who waited for this time to occur, for all the folks who led on this issue from the front, we say thank you. This is a positive step for our state and for future generations. And as we start the week, remember to wash your hands, take care of yourself, wear a mask if you go out in public, do only what is essential, and remember, you are safer at home. Have a great week.